Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We're here inside with the turkey eggs today. Now, I've divided the turkey eggs I have hatching into two incubators just so you can see a little bit better. Those are not turkey eggs. Those are silky eggs. That is a turkey egg. Hear him? He's currently zipping. So first he pipped. That's what all these knocked egg shells were. He poked through. Then he didn't do anything for about an hour and a half. Now he is zipping around. We have another turkey egg here. And if you can see, there's a couple of pieces of shell knocked out of him as well. So he has pipped. He is not currently zipping. We will wait and see if he does. This guy, however, is currently zipping. So turkeys can be a little bit problematic when they're hatching because they can either pip and then start zipping right away, or they can pip and do nothing for a very long time. Sometimes 24 hours or even a little more. I don't know what they're doing in there, watching TV, having a party, whatever they're doing, they're not hatching. So it's important not to jump the gun and not to get too excited because you have to wait. If I were to go in, now this guy's zipping, so you wouldn't feel the need to go help him. This guy, I shouldn't feel the need to go help him either because he's not ready. He's definitely not ready to hatch. He pipped and now he's taking a break. So you kind of have to allow for differences. They're not machines. Remember, they are creatures. They're living, breathing birds. Not all of them hatch the same. Some will pip and move on to zipping right away. Some will pip, take about an hour or two break, and then get to zipping. And some will pip well before they're ready to hatch. There he goes again. But some will pip well before they're ready to hatch, and they will literally just sit there for a day just doing their thing. That's why it's really important to have your vent open so that they can breathe, because they are breathing oxygen as they are getting ready to hatch. Have your vent fully open and keep your incubator closed. You don't want to shrink wrap anyone, and keep your humidity at least 50, or it's okay if it's 40. It becomes less important as long as they are hatching appropriately. Okay, everyone harps on humidity, but if chicks are zipping, then they're able to rotate in their eggs, and it means that it is not too dry, regardless of what your hygrometer says, because sometimes hygrometers are wrong. So if everything is proceeding appropriately, then you don't need to get too worked up about it. So obviously these guys are doing fine. He is currently zipping. I expect him out within the next hour. Remember, zipping's a lot of work. Be patient. We'll be back as soon as he's made a little more progress. We are making progress. He is getting somewhere. Now it's going to be probably another hour before he completely finishes. Well, maybe a little less. He's starting to speed up now. So he is making progress, doing his thing. You see him knocking. You see him knocking those little bits of shell. He is making progress. He's getting there. You just got to give him a little time. So very soon we will get to see a baby Ridley bronze turkey hatching out of here. There we are. We are making more progress. Little more progress. Every once in a while we will tune back in. There he is. We will turn back in every once in a while to see how he's progressing. It's not fast. So from pip to zip can be 24 hours. Even when zipping starts, it could be a good couple hours before they finish zipping. Turkey eggs are large and they have a long way to go. They have to turn around in the egg using their little legs to propel them around in a circle just to zip out of their eggs. So give them time. Be patient. He will get there. We'll tune back in as he progresses. Right now, he's pushing himself out. I didn't record the rest of the zipping because it was taking forever. It was literally like 4.5 hours. Right now, he's pushing himself out. What you do not want to do right now is reach in there and pull him out of the shell, because he is actually still absorbing his yolk sac. So you want to let him come out of his own volition, under his own power, unless you have no other choice. So turkeys take a long time to hatch, and it can be really tempting to get in there and help. But don't help unless you see the membrane starting to like sucker itself onto the baby turkey. So if that membrane suckers itself onto the turkey, then what happens is he can't hatch because he can't move. He's basically shrink wrapped. So then you're going to have to intervene. But you can see the membrane there, right at the edge. You can see that membrane, and it is soft and pliable, and he does not have trouble turning in his egg. So even though he took forever to zip, we absolutely do not want to help him because he needs time. If you pull him out of the egg now, he is actually going to die because he needs to come out at his own pace. See, he is coming out of the egg now, slowly, carefully. He's not rushing himself, which is what you want. You want him to go nice and slow, take his time, come out of that egg when he's ready. And you can hear him making some noise. That's good. His buddy and the 2 chickens, and there's another egg as well in a different incubator, are all starting to hatch. So for now, we are just going to let him do his thing. We're not going to intervene unnecessarily, and we're just going to wait. He will come out of that egg when he is good and ready. And he's coming. He's coming. He's pushing his way out. He's using his little legs to propel himself out of that egg. You just have to give him time. Because if he doesn't have enough time, he's not ready to come out. One of the biggest mistakes people make is intervening far too early. So unless the chick is stuck in the egg and seriously can't get out without help, do not intervene. He'll come out when he's good and ready. It could take a whole day for him to hatch. So we'll come back when he has made it all the way out of the egg. After a great deal of waiting, finally, he has made it out of the egg. Okay, he has still got a long way to go. He can't come out of the incubator yet. He's drenched. He's also exhausted. So he needs time to rest. So obviously he's awake, right? Obviously he's alive. But he just came out of his egg, and he is just figuring out what on earth he's doing. And if you're wondering what that substance is, it's part of the egg, right? That substance, the white substance wrapped around his leg, is part of the egg. So you just got to leave him be now. He's going to flop around and look like the most uncoordinated turkey you've ever met. Because he is. He does not know how to work legs. First day on legs, he's not quite got it yet. He's working on it, so he's quite sprightly, and he is trying very, very hard to be a turkey. Okay, we're just going to have to give him a little bit to figure out how to be a turkey. So now we are just going to leave him alone. Okay, he needs to stay in that incubator for a couple of days. So note the hatch time of your first baby and go 48 hours from now. That's how long he should stay in the incubator. One, he's waiting for his buddies to hatch, and you shouldn't be playing with the incubator while the buddies are hatching. So we're waiting for hatchlings to come out of their eggs. But also, you want to give him a chance to get nice and strong. And that only happens by leaving him in the incubator. There's plenty of time to put him in the brooder and give him a chance to be a turkey. Right now, he just needs to be a baby. So we're just going to leave him in the incubator. We're going to look over here because that's the shell he came out of. Remember that turkey shells are really very thick. So if it takes your babies a little bit of time to get out of those shells, that's okay. They're just babies. It takes a little bit of time. So give him a chance to dry off. When he has dried off, we will come take a look at him again. Hopefully by then he will learn about legs. Because, you know, legs, man, they're tricky. He's working on it. He's working on it. He'll figure out his legs. He understands legs in a little bit. Okay? So we'll just give him some time to fluff up and learn all about legs. Then we'll come back and see what he looks like all dried off. All right, so our baby turkeys are dried off. Well, the two of them, there's still one hatching. But they are dried off and looking excellent. Yes, little one. You want to peck the glass? Good job. So, what do you do now? Now you leave them in the incubator. You want to leave them in your incubator for 48 to 72 hours. No, they do not need to eat during this time. During this particular time, they are surviving off the nutrients in the egg yolk that they absorbed during incubation. Yes, you're a good little guys. So they do not need to be fed. They do not need water. They are totally fine in the incubator for 48 to 72 hours. I like to go at the 48-hour mark. Make sure they're completely dry before you remove them. And I do like to leave them for the full 48 hours. I find that you have stronger babies when you have left them for 48 hours. So I like to leave mine for 48 hours before moving them to the brooder. Now I am going to move them to the brooder, and yes, I am going to film that and talk about brooding turkeys. So, hi guys. I will talk about brooding turkeys because it's pretty close to the same as chickens. There's just a couple other things that you have to keep in mind because baby turkeys are a little bit stupid. So, because they're not smart, yeah, you guys are not particularly smart. You try, but you're not. So because they're not particularly smart, there are a couple of changes we have to make to brooding them as opposed to brooding chickens. But we will talk about that in next week's video when we talk about brooding turkeys for the first few weeks of their life. Until then, we'll see you tomorrow.